What up, my freaks? Ruinous Insight here with part 31 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Taurox the Brass Bull campaign. So as we saw last time, the chosen Slaughterhorns debuted, casting down Karl Franz one probably last time. I sincerely doubt that he will recover by the time we get to Dukelberg and break the Empire for good. Looking for a good time for the Slaughterhorns. I think we'll want to get them into at least a couple more battles and before we end off the campaign, just to continue trying them out a little bit. And I would like to still complete the army with a couple more chariots, so there's still a little bit to do there. As for what we're doing this time, well, we're going to get a nice big battle for Kazrak near Castle Tempelhof here, as they have some stacks as well as a fairly elite garrison. So should be a pretty fun time for him, and his best gores are ready for action to show that they are truly the best, so they damn well and better get into it. Before that though, let's move everybody else around to make sure that there's nothing else that is significant. I still don't know where Deathmaster Snitch is either, but we'll find him. Malagor, take out Faderife, and let me guess, this is gonna hurt our giants. That actually didn't hurt our giants. Well, at least it probably did, but probably not that bad. Alright, is he here? Where are you, Deathmaster Snitch, please? Are these the last two territories he has? This is not a Snitch. And it's certainly not a Deathmaster. Just some regular dude, and hey, a Banner of Outrage. Nice, frenzy and melee attack. Man, the Beastmen have some really good banners, don't they? Kind of shockingly good. What, are you telling me the Deathmaster Snitch is... Oh wait, no, we killed him. He's probably still dead. I thought that he would have revived by now, but apparently not. Anyway, Pyrrhic Victory, this is gonna hurt, but this is also not worth fighting. Yeah, well, it hurt the Giants and it hurt the Harpies, but I think we could just sacrifice the extra bit of gold we get to heal up a little bit faster, and there we go. We'll heal more or less to full anyway. Go into Hidden Encampment, or you know what, it's safer to go into Raiding, because I don't want the Hidden Encampment to fail, and frankly, if they want to attack us outside, that's just fine. That's just fine. This is probably their last army. I actually expect them to take Durango over the next turn, but we'll have Malagor hunt them down, rebuild this, and maybe even take Skaven Blight just because he can. Maybe that'll be Malagor's final battle for the campaign. Land at Skaven Blight over the mountains and destroy it, showing once and for all his mastery over the Skaven, while Taurox and our Khorne army, which does make the most sense, head to Athel Loren, and the Slaanesh army either, well, continues breaking the Empire and maybe heads to Athel Loren, or maybe hits a few of the remaining Golden Order locations. I'll think about it. Either way, let's move everybody else around and then send Kazrak in. Sidhu, I would like you to meet Karak Kadrin in proper battle at some point. Hopefully we find a full stag belonging to them to show off those Pestigors one more time. For now, however, you can take Karak Kadrin itself. I don't imagine they'll be too happy about that, and we'll raise a herdstone here. Oh, and would you look at that, a little Orky army. Now this will hurt us, because everything somehow hurts us. Auto-resolve hates us, and yeah, that hurt us quite a bit, but it is a herdstone, so we should be healing up here quite nicely. And hey, we got a Trickster's Helm for our trouble. I wouldn't complain about that. And the Shamanic Challenges and Winds of Malady here, and you, sir, are going to exit the settlement, and you're going to raid, and I'm going to Hidden Encampment. If dwarves are coming here, it would be better to ambush them, even though our army is badly hurt. I have faith in Nurgle, and therefore hopefully we can still win it. I imagine you will take Hellcay, but I don't think we're going to bother with this little Orky faction. We just don't care about them enough. We're only here to fight some dwarfs. And, oh right, you've recovered to some degree, Sylvania. Have you gotten a territory yet? No. His problem is that everything around him is blood grounds, so he'd have to try to use this to try to retake one of our herdstones, and I just don't see that happening at the current time. Anyway, Ungerol the Wild Heart still staying here. We're probably going to send you to backup. Oh, you know what? The Slaaneshi final battle can be against the elves here with the backup of Ungerol. I like that. Alright, planning out the last battles for the last episode already. Toddy is here, and we do want to go for him. What do we have at Castle Paravon? I got some defenders. You know what? Maybe this is the time to try out the KHORNGORS. The thing is, if we get too badly hurt here, these guys will probably hit us with a nice big stack. So I think we're gonna move in. Alright, David Hasselhoof, let's level you up. More Sleeves presence. We want Fury of the Herd to buff up those KHORNGORS. We will get probably defensive stats for the Minotaurs, probably a little bit more important because they already hit so damn hard. Barbed Knuckle Boxing for you, a little bit of extra damage with an active ability, and get Gnarled Hide, and just in case, especially as we will be facing off against Wood Elves, Fueled by Blood. And what was the other thing that we wanted here? Hoofed Heavyweights. Oh. We actually do want Freakish Mutations as well, but we won't have points for it right now. Is anybody of a high level here? No, but the Minotaurs are much more likely to reach it faster. So we'll get Bestial Butchers and into Apocalyptic Vision. You, Mr. Gorball, you have the Vast and Ending War Herd, but do we care about destruction at this point in the game? Probably not, since we're looking to end the campaign within the next couple of eps. Let's get you Gnarled Hide nonetheless, and probably Shadow Hide. Still very concerned about getting hit by enemy ranged against the Wood Elves. Go Foe Seeker into Call to More Sleep, into Unnatural Thirst, and Deadly Onslaught. Still have a couple of points left to spend. We can get the extra hit points out of Tough as Nails. Don't really care about Retinue Trainer. And funnily enough, this might be one of the rare armies where Esteemed Combatant would be useful to us. To some degree. I don't think it has potential. Ooh, the extra mass from Gouge Tusks ain't bad either, though. You know what, for now, you know what, it's a lot of spell resistance. I'm gonna get you the big amount of spell resistance. Anyway, let's do the debut for the Khornate army. Wait, did I ever give you banners? I did not give you banners. Okay, I also did not give you items, we can do that later. When we actually, generally I like to give items before we face off against like an actual scary foe. Slugskin, you know what, we could certainly use poison in this particular army. I like the idea. The increased melee attack out of the Gift of Chaos, Banner of Outrage. I think we already have Frenzy on the KHORNGORS, do we not? Oh wow, they don't have Frenzy. You know, if anybody has Frenzy, it's probably KHORNGORS and Minotaurs, but what do I know? Let us give you... not the armor. Let's get a Gift of Chaos to match the Razor standard, and maybe one more gift. Perfect Vigor? Yeah, you know what, let's put the Perfect Vigor on one of the big boys, on one of the Gorgons, like so. Anyway, Castle Paravon will be an easy little fight, but apparently, while the Auto-Resolve hates every single one of our armies, we will have to watch out for the Hawk Riders, however, as they have a tendency to assassinate things, and we don't want that. Anyway, you, and let's say you, and let's say you. Did I do that right? Well, I did it right enough. Let's go with that. Anyway, and just the debut easy little fight, here we go. Alrighty, here we go. It's gonna be a relatively small battle as the enemy does not quite have a full stack, but to be fair, our army doesn't quite make up, well, we're damaged to the point of, well, having lost roughly a couple units worth of models, so there is that to consider, I guess. And on top of that, we had to debut the Khorne army sometime, and this is going to be that time. Also, let's check out those KHORNGORS of ours. Them's fighting herds indeed. KHORNGORS are looking pretty great, pretty demonic, and in fact certainly would fit fairly well in one of Scarbrand's armies, generally speaking. Certainly remind me of bloodletters and stuff. Yeah, very nice, very nice. We'll see how effective they are. How was their armor piercing, incidentally, just out of curiosity? They've got 37 and 25 armor piercing and bonus versus infantry as well. So quite a bit more armor piercing than the Pestigors by comparison, but they're probably nowhere near as survivable. They also lose their armor and gain lots of attack and additional damage if they drop below 50% HP, which does make sense. Now, we are going to have to be careful. There are 3 enemy Hawk Riders. We have nothing in terms of air support or anti-air either, so we're just going to have to ignore those and attack the main enemy line. This also means we will be taking potentially quite a bit of damage, as these guys are quite good at assassinating single entities, although hopefully they waste more shots not on our mage, but instead on you with your 30% missile and 25% physical and 5% ward save. Well, lots of resistances is what I'm getting at. Anyway, heading directly towards that enemy army. And away we go. Gonna activate some buffs on our army in order to make sure that we take less missile damage. And here we are. KHORNGORS and piles of minotaurs alike and getting into the fray. Those white cloaks of those Gladegargan looking pretty bloody very shortly. Looks like the Eagles and the Hawk Riders going to come down at the same time. A rear charge into our KHORNGORS with those Hawk Riders. Not a bad pickup, as these are actually fairly effective at mincing piles of infantry, even if they do take damage themselves. We're going to counteract that by popping the Vissen's Wild Form to give us a massive increase in armor, and continue working on all of those units while hopefully allowing the Minotaurs to deal with the Hawk Riders and the Eagles. Over here, however, we've managed to break through the right side of the flank of the enemy army. An eagle has been destroyed. Gladeguard are being chased down by KHORNGORS. And out here, we have a little bit of a duel going on between the Battle Beef and one of the enemy treemen. Nice. And there were some KHORNGORS helping out as well, but they're currently embroiled in some combat with the Hawk Riders that decided to help this tree man. A nice little matchup here, I think. I'd actually be curious to see who would win this matchup, and by the looks of it, the tree man should go down to the Gorgon. Anti-large on that Gorgon after all. Although we probably won't need to take our time to bring down the enemy tree man down all the way, because the balance of power will shift fully to our favor, and the battle, just like that, will be ours. Alright, it was always going to be a quick battle, just a tiny debut so that the auto-resolve didn't kill off our Khornate army. It will certainly fight again. Alright, nice easy little debut, though we did take a little bit of damage on our KHORNGORS. That was to be expected against the enemy range, and especially due to those darn Hawk Riders. They're extremely OP in SFO, so, well, they're extremely strong, at least, let's say. In SFO, they're good at range, they're good at melee, and they're good at everything. But hey, we have our own units like Taurox that are good at everything as well. And, well, most factions have at least one unit that's good at everything, so it makes sense. Anyway, we are going to... I forgot. I don't think we were going to raise it here. Let's raise in advance so that we heal up. And, oh wow, you're moving far, sir. You're moving far indeed. We can't quite reach Castle Songlak this turn, but we can pop ourselves into a hidden encampment. Probably the better choice, since we otherwise could potentially, we could potentially get attacked while in a raiding stance, and it's probably better not to risk it. We'll hit Castle Songlak next turn, maybe move to Castle Drakenfell, set up a new herd stone there to make sure that these guys can't settle everything around. If we have to kill that little Wood Elf army, well then we certainly will. Alrighty, who needs to move next? Kazrak, you still have to fight. Ungrol, you are waiting for the Slaneshi to arrive, though I originally was going to send you to help the Khornate army, since Taurox is going to be nearby, perhaps, hopefully, and we won't need you. You two. Alright, Aberku, I would like you to move in and kill off this little army, and then move back into Kemperbad. Ambush? Sure, why not? And I don't care about your bestial rage, because you're not a real army. You're not a real boy. You're not a real goat. You are going to move back to our territory. You are going to head back to Kemperbad. Then you are going to start building this, because we want 4 Razorgore chariots, and we'll have you build it specifically for the Slaaneshi army. We also got our agents coming in, but they should be able to meet you at Dukelberg and near to Nuln as well, and we can set up another herdstone at Nuln. Yeah, that'll be pretty perfect. Alrighty. Alrighty, and by the looks of it, we're ready to go. Khazrak, it's gonna be a heck of a fight, my friend. There's lots and lots of enemies for you to take care of. I guess we'll go into Ruination stance, despite the lack of post-battle loot, just so that we don't accidentally ambush, because we want to draw all the enemies out into the field, and I don't want the Rampage to screw over our doggos and get them killed. You are currently at war with... well, our enemies will declare war on you. We just constantly declare war on everybody, but that's Beastmen. I do wish we got some kind of reward for it. I feel like Beastmen should have some kind of reward for every single faction that they declare war on. You know what I mean? Just to incentivize and being constantly at war with everybody. Away we go. Alrighty, and it looks like they will fight. They got plenty of units, so it'll be an epic fight for Khazrak as well. Let's debut, well, I guess it's not really a debut since we've seen Bestigors fight many a time, and Khazrak's gone to be a little bit specialized at vampire killing, well... if anything, he's had plenty of final battle-like battles against Vlad, and this is another similar sort of thing, so if we don't get a final battle for him of this caliber for the final episode, then we can just assume one of these ones is gonna be it. So, yeah, let's enjoy this Khazrak. Away we go once again. Alright, here Khazrak goes again fighting the undead. I guess not content with casting down the Empire of the Living, he wants to make sure that an Empire of the Dead cannot simply revive, and he's doing a damn good job at it. Very appropriate battles we will be fighting in the marshland territory here, nice and thematic for fighting the piles of undead, and we will be looking to destroy the first enemy army before all of those reinforcements, and those aren't the major reinforcements, these are the major reinforcements, arrive on the field. Gotta get rid of those zombies before the elites get here so that they can't use them as meat shields. Anyway, Khazrak's gonna head directly towards the enemy lord while our Bestigors and our Gores try to work their way through all these enemies. And yeah, isn't it nice to fight the undead in these dead marshes sort of territories? Certainly think it adds something to it, and the corrupt ghouls and the zombies and the skeletons feel like they belong on this terrain, and we'll make sure that they truly belong in this terrain by burying them in it. Alright, and the Bestigors facing off against the corrupt ghouls, a little bit wasteful in terms of the armor piercing, not really doing anything, but that's true of the of pretty much this entire first army, as it's primarily made up of the unarmored or light armored units. Over on the leftmost flank we have our piles of chariots, our 2 Razorgore chariots, all of our Wargores working on these units, and by the looks of it all of these spears, though they are anti-large, are getting absolutely wrecked. Bleed and all those chariots are doing good work. Over on the rightmost flank is where we have our piggies and our doggos, and they've destroyed some units over on that side and are now moving in to join the fray and hit the units that the Pestigors, or not Pestigors, Bestigors and Gores and such are attacking in the back and flanks. Hopefully the morale shock will make them melt away all that much faster, and then we can regroup before the arrival of the major enemy army. Looks like 40 units are on the field, so the enemy can't get more reinforcements up there, but I'm sure they'll join as soon as the rest of these skellies and zombos melt away. Alrighty, well done to the chariots. These skeletons over on this side are taken care of. The last of the zombies appear to be crumbling away, and soon it will be time for that quick regroup. Fortunately, most of the dead are quite slow, so they will take some time to get to us, so we should have the time to reform our ranks. And there we go. Moving to reform now. We can see a couple of units of Cairn Wraiths moving in on the flanks as well to back up those Black Knights. And now, Cairn Wraiths matching the Black Knights with all the balefire that they have quite nicely. Well, good for them, but what's not going to be good for them is we're going to hit the first unit of Cairn Wraiths with a Fate of Biuna on top of the Trickster Shard for that spell resistance reduction, and that thing's going to kick in and probably destroy the unit by itself, even if they don't continue fighting the Pestigors. The other unit is going to move around. We did hit them with a Spirit Leech just to do a little bit of magical damage to them, but it's obviously not kind of a wasteful use of it. And we've got other uses as well. Fate of Biuna working on these guys though, and they are down to half HP and in fact crumbling away, all while they try to fight the Pestigors. This is just the beginning of this particular battle though, as the main enemy host is nearly here and we're going to have to hold them off. Put the doggos and the piggies in the woods here, and as soon as the enemy's distracted and going for simply the Pestigors here, we're going to move in to help. Charge through those zombies, and the pigs in particular will be quite effective, but we've seen the effectiveness of this combination of Doggo and Piggo throughout the campaign, and its effectiveness hasn't changed. Out here we have the Black Horns Ravagers, who have proven throughout the campaign to be a very strong gore unit. That Overwhelm debuff once again is absolutely massive, and while it's probably a little bit wasted on the zombies, these guys can nonetheless work their way through plenty of units in this manner. Alright, and the battle lines are engaged. Graveguard are moving in to back up the enemy with their great swords, which will be threatening to our Pestigors in their heavy armor. This is the main portion of the battlefield where the enemy decided to give it, 70% of its army, and so Khazrak is here, and, well, actually, he's just run out of it, and wow, what the heck, he is moving quick, damn, 99 speed, he's faster than a vampire, wow. Pan's Impenetrable Pelt upgraded, by the looks of it, just increases his speed to a crazy degree. Fortunately, there's a couple of necromancers to chase down, and there ain't no way they're going to escape from Khazrak. And it might be better that he's on foot in this particular... Oh, wow, did he just... He moves so fast. I think he moves so fast he's having a difficult time staying around the enemy unit. It's like using a fighter jet to catch a biplane, right? So just we get out and walk. Anyway, what do we have here? The Graveguard facing off against the Bleating Edge. We're going to start dropping Flocks of Doom here, as well as the enemy has blobbed up so many Graveguard and Cairn Wraiths and Crypt Ghouls and zombies all around this pile of our units. But not to worry, our units will be holding strong. They've got chariots to add bleed and mass to this. It looks like the enemy Terrorgeist is nearly fallen, as the You Can't Milk Those have been trying to target it in the center of the formation, with a little bit of help from our Wargors as well. Not bringing down those large units, are you, Terrorgeist? As down you will go. Alright, I didn't go down on cue. Down it will go. And as the Terrorgeist loses its wings, we gain more wings of our own as another Flock of Doom comes down in the big pile of the dead. Over on the flanks, the rest of the enemy army has collapsed, and now we can move all of the Doggos and Piggos and simply the Pestigors to move in to help, and the Black Horns Ravagers have arrived already. Khazrak has nearly killed one of the Master Necromancers and is going to go after the second one as well, but by the looks of it, the battle is pretty much ours. And there we go. Down goes the Master. I couldn't tell if he exploded due to crumbling or whether Kazrak hit him with his whip, but I guess ultimately it doesn't matter. Hit the enemies in the sides and flanks, surround them from all sides, make them bleed, poison them, and crush their bones, etc., etc. Gotta appreciate Kazrak's will here, as I once again love fighting the undead, and by the looks of it, so does he. Alrighty, just a few more zombies left. Man, I bet our mage did so much damage in this particular battle. There was a huge blob of enemies around our bestigors, but now there is none. A close victory. We lost, I'm pretty sure, most of our mana, or expended most of our mana, and I'm sure we took a little bit of damage, but I don't feel like it warranted a close victory quite. Either way, let's see how we did. Oh man, do I love playing and fighting the undead. It was just so fun. Honestly, I don't think we're going to get a better battle for Kazrak, so we're probably going to consider that to be his finale. 7,000 of the dead stood before us, and damn did we make our way through their ranks. And would you look at that? 48,000 damage and the most kills, 491 on the Gore Herd. Granted, the Regiment of Renown, with that massive debuff that they have, overwhelmed still. Looks like with 51k damage, the highest damage of the units at least goes to the Bleating Edge, and very appropriately named, clearly. Plenty of damage on Kazrak's good boys here, 35k, and about the same on the Foul Tusks, 30k, 32k, and 21 and 24, and first and foremost, Shadowpag, Blighted Mongrels, and Drakewald Doggos, and you can't milk those, did pretty okay as well, 20k damage, though they were focused on single entities more a little bit. We got, let's see, 34k on Simply the Bestigors and 21k on Kazrak's Warhooves, 100,000 damage on that Bray Shaman of Beasts, but that is pretty often for a Beast Shaman, especially against the undead, where spamming a few Flocks of Doom racks up insane amounts of damage. Kazrak didn't do as much, but he knocked out, I want to say, 3 or 4 lords and heroes, so he certainly did his job, though I'm still on the fence about him on foot versus on his chariot. Still not quite sure. Otherwise, we did fairly decently all around. Everybody did their job, and I'm happy. A little bit of money, or you know what, let's heal up so that we can destroy this. Since we have a ritual nearby, in fact, we can perform it immediately and build it immediately, so that I don't forget. We can just quickly destroy Castle Templehof. How much movement do we have? Oh, none. We have to... okay, fine. Well, we'll raise it and hopefully we can catch Mr. Tabert here, Tabert. And we... oh, wow. Loot and raise gives us 8k. Very nice, Kazrak. Very nice. Stop moving now. Switch to ambush and kill off Tabert. And you won't be able to reach the next place, but this faction looks to be just about dead as well. So close, so close. But I guess you can spend a turn raiding and healing, not a big deal. You can take out Van Heldenschloss and then move through the rest of these territories, but by then it'll most likely be all auto-resolves, as we're looking to end the campaign within the next couple of episodes. Anyway, anybody else need to do anything, or are we good to go for the end turn? I do believe we are indeed good to go, so good to go, or so end the turn we shall. Somebody has low bestial rage, and I'm willing to bet it is the Slaaneshi army. Where are you, Slaaneshi army? No, it's not. I wonder which army it was. Because I skipped it, and now I don't know. Could it be you? It's not you. You can build stuff, though. And in fact, well, at this point, the dread may not be super necessary. We could possibly use the Shaman's part to get Shatterstone in this army, though, so I think that's what we'll do. And you know what? Upgrade to the next level of the Bloodied Lair as well. And hey, that does give us another God Gore capacity, should we require it. Nah, we're good. End the turn. And, oh wow, we are actually out of time and I didn't realize it, but if anything interesting happens, we shall see. You're going to now take this, I assume. Yes, you'll take it, but we'll get you. And is that Ikit? And if it's Ikit, can we kill him? Twould be swell. Ooh, hello, King Panet. There is a Tomb King army nearby. We haven't fought Tomb Kings yet, as I recall, so if we can get near it and kill it, that wouldn't be too bad. Mousillon will randomly declare war on us, eh? Well, that was sudden. Okay, looks like they want one of our coastal territories. Probably want to take Bordelot. You know what? Maybe we'll send Malagor over to you then, Red Duke. We'll see how he fares. Or how you fare, rather, against him. Got to go with no matter how far, I think. I do love the casualty replenishment, which would enable us to heal up a lot more, but we gotta move, no matter how far yet again. Alrighty, settlement to raise Durango. It wasn't raised, it was occupied, but, you know. Okay, everything's receiving plagues. All the plagues in the world, man. I don't regret building the Nurgle buildings, but damn, it's a lot of plagues. Anyway, with that, we're out of time, folks, and I am going to call the episode here. And ooh, well, if it isn't a pile of dwarfs to fight. Now, we are still hurt in this army. That doesn't mean we can't fight some dwarfs, I would think. So that'll be our goal next episode. We're not at war with you, are we? Well, you don't like us because we killed everybody around you. Well, that's a shame for you. But anyway, looks like we will be able to get at least a fight against some dwarfs with the Pestigors next time. Still looking for Tsarina Katrin to come around and protect Kislev while Morgur absolutely wrecks it. But we'll see if we can actually find her or not. Continue to head towards Athaloran next time, and maybe we can even reach it with Taurox, especially if we can get another rampage going and just move all the way over there and burn down that oak real quick. That would certainly work out. And oh man, you're moving to Gualcazar. Well, there's jerks trying to attack a lot of our herdstones, but it hardly matters. Anyway, calling it here. More Taurox to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.